What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, October 11th, 2023, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 7:31 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. So, we have some major breaking news coming in from Israel. I want to update you on Israel. The situation over there is just out of control. But like I reported earlier today, there is the potential for some type of a global jihad this coming Friday, which happens to be Friday the 13th. Okay, we do know that Homeland Security here in the U.S. is on high alert. The FBI is on high alert, and police departments in big cities across the country are on high alert. So please be careful if you're going out anywhere on Friday. Okay, if you live in an area where it's legal to carry self-defense tools, you should be carrying all the time. Okay, and be aware of your surroundings, know your exits, identify cover and concealment locations wherever you go in case something happens. Okay, but we have this article that came out from Reuters about the former Hamas chief calling for basically a global jihad this Friday. So I want to read to you about that. But before I do that, I want to let you know that we did have a U.S. presidential Doomsday plane go from D.C. to Offutt Air Base earlier this afternoon. Okay, Offutt Air Base has a bunker underneath. That's where Strategic Command is. It's the most important combatant command of the U.S. military. They can command the entire U.S. military from this base. Okay, and this is where they took Dick Cheney after 9/11. They took him underground under Offutt Air Base. And so this afternoon, there was a E-4B Night Watch presidential doomsday plane that went to this same bunker that Dick Cheney went to after 9/11. Okay. So I don't know if Biden was on board. I don't know if Kamala Harris was on board or, who was on board. I have no idea. But this is very concerning. Also, at the same time, we had a B-52 nuclear bomber take off from Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota, and it flew to the Black Hills region of South Dakota and Wyoming, and it was up in the air for a few hours, and it was airborne at the same time as the presidential doomsday plane. And also at the same time, we had a nuclear war command and control plane that was flying over the Midwest and the southern states. And then there was also a sub Hunter plane off the coast of Norfolk, Virginia. Okay, so our nuclear forces are on high alert. Okay, here's a close up shot of the nuclear bomber that was airborne, the B 52. It was actually doing loops over Devil's Tower in Wyoming. And I want to just remind you guys about the Samson Option. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with the Samson Option, but basically it's a form of nuclear deterrence that Israel has. It's one of Israel's nuclear doctrines. Basically, it just states that if Israel were to come under attack and attacked from multiple sides at one time, and Israel's existence was threatened, then Israel would lash out with nuclear weapons. Okay. And the reason why it's called the Samson Option is it's named after Samson, the biblical figure who pushed down the towers in the temple with the Philistines, and he killed himself and all the Philistines with him. Okay. And so basically, that's what Israel would do if they were to be surrounded like they are right now. Okay, they're surrounded on all sides. They have Hezbollah to the north. They have Syria to the northeast. And they're all getting ready to move in on Israel. Okay, so it's possible that Israel could execute the Samson Option if this situation continues to spiral out of control. Okay, we're hearing that Hezbollah is gearing up to go into Israel. Um, and like I said earlier, I think that the Hamas militants were just pawns, and Hezbollah and Syria are just waiting for the right opportunity to attack Israel at the right moment. But I want to just update you with some of the latest headlines, okay? Uh, and before I forget, the Samson option was almost used in 1973 during the Yom Kippur War when Arab forces were overwhelming Israeli forces. Then Prime Minister Golda Meir authorized a nuclear alert in Israel and ordered 13 atomic bombs be readied for use by missiles and aircraft. Okay. And at that time, the ambassador to the U.S. Asked President Nixon for more supplies, and that if the U.S. didn't give them supplies, then very serious conclusions may occur. And eventually, the U.S. gave Israel more supplies, and they didn't use those atomic bombs. Okay, but Israel came close to using the Samson option during the Yom Kippur War, and this is way worse than the Yom Kippur War. Okay, this is way worse. Hezbollah, Hamas, Syria, Iran, they've had a long time to plan this all out. We do know that Vladimir Putin is on the side of the Palestinians. I'm sure he had a hand in planning this whole thing. I'm sure Russian weapons are currently being used by Hezbollah and Hamas. Putin said earlier today that the land on which the Palestinians live is historically their land. Okay. Um, so this is a very serious situation. It's continuing to escalate. I want to read to you what the leader of Hezbollah said. He said that the U.S. is a full partner of the Zionist aggression in Israel and is responsible for the killings, crimes, siege, and destruction of homes and horrifying crimes against innocent civilians. Okay, so Hezbollah is saying that the U.S. is basically full partner to Israel, and they're basically going to treat the U.S. like Israel. That's what Hezbollah is saying now. Okay, and they've already threatened American bases in Iraq and around the world. Be prepared, guys. Okay, this Friday could be crazy. I'm going to try to live stream this Friday if I can and cover the Friday the 13th possible global jihad. I will be covering it live. So make sure you're subscribed. But we have some major breaking news that a Marine Corps expeditionary unit of the United States capable of conducting special operations has departed early from a scheduled exercise with Kuwait as a result of emerging events. Okay, so we have U.S. Marine Corps Special Ops, MARSOC, basically, an expeditionary unit departing a scheduled exercise with Kuwait early because of everything going on. Okay, so they're going to be relocated probably close to Israel, and they may even get deployed into Israel, into Gaza. I mean, Lebanon, whatever, depending on how things escalate. So that's pretty concerning. We also have some breaking news coming from Biden. Biden said that more F-35s and F-18s are going to be deployed to the region. We also have breaking news that U.S. Special Ops in Europe are on high alert to be deployed into the conflict zone for possible hostage rescue missions. Okay, so U.S. Special Ops in Europe on high alert. Okay, we have breaking news that a U.S. Navy flotilla has appeared opposite of Haifa in Israel with landing ships of the MLP type, built on the basis of super tankers and designed mainly for special ops forces and amphibious landings from the sea and from the air. Okay, so an amphibious a flotilla of amphibious landing ships used for amphibious landings and special ops has shown up right next to Haifa. Okay, this is a map of Israel. This is where Haifa is. You can see Lebanon is right near Haifa. So there were people in Haifa that were actually taking pictures of this U.S. Navy flotilla. There were like 5 or 10 of these giant amphibious landing ships off the coast. And I can't show you guys the pictures because, YouTube is sensitive with any kind of like footage that you can't 100% verify or whatever. But there was a picture showing this giant flotilla. Okay, so the U.S. is moving Marines. They're moving amphibious ships, amphibious landing ships. Special ops are on high alert. They already declared a few days ago that special forces are going to be going into, special ops are going into Israel and Gaza, okay, for hostage rescue. This is just, it's escalating by the day, guys. There's so much news, it's hard for me to keep up with it. We have the Prime Minister of Israel and the former Defense Minister Benny Gantz forming a emergency unity government in Israel to manage the war against Hamas. Okay, so that would be like the equivalent of like the Trump administration merging with the Biden administration if we got attacked by China or something, or Russia. Okay, if there was a nuclear war, both parties would form a government. So that's huge news. We have some very concerning information coming out that apparently Iran has been moving ballistic missiles around. And there's actually a video that I saw, and it looks legit, of these missile trucks going through, it looks like some city in Iran. Okay, mobile missile launchers. Okay. And I can't show you the video once again because of YouTube policy. It's just too risky for me. But there was a video that I was able to see. Looks like in sometime in the night, there were some Iranian missile trucks moving around, ballistic missile trucks. Okay, so Iran is readying their ballistic missiles for a worst case scenario, a showdown with the U.S. Get prepared, guys. Okay. And like I said the other night, the U.S. has very limited options when it comes to striking Iran. Their only option at this point is basically a full-scale nuclear attack of Iran, targeting all of their military bases and their underground bunkers. A conventional strike is not enough to damage all the bases because the bases are so big and many of them are underground, especially their nuclear facilities. So you need to have a large ordnance to destroy those bases and those underground facilities, and conventional missiles, conventional warheads are just not powerful enough, okay? So the U.S. would have to probably order a limited attack option, which is basically a nuclear strike that's limited just to one area of the world, which would be Iran. Iran is also a huge country geographically. It's like the size of Alaska. So there's a huge amount of territory. It's vast. It's not that easy to just fly F-16s and drop, bombs and stuff like that. So it would be a massive undertaking, but it looks like Iran is getting prepared. They're moving ballistic missiles around. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said earlier today in a press conference that every Hamas operative will die. Hamas is ISIS. We will crush them. Okay. I mean, just doesn't get any stronger than that. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said, "We will wipe Hamas off the face of the earth." Okay. I mean, this is just really, really crazy stuff, guys. Just so surreal. Secretary of the Arab League said, "We call on Israel to stop the war immediately, end the occupation, and establish a Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital." Okay, so the Arab League wants to give Jerusalem away to the Palestinians. Of course they would. Turkish President Erdogan held negotiations with Hamas representatives in Ankara, and they were talking about releasing hostages held in Gaza. Okay, so the Turkish president is trying to work some magic to release Western hostages in Gaza. And I wanted to just update you on that nuclear power plant in Israel that was apparently having some kind of a security incident earlier today. I want to mention I cannot confirm 100% if that's true or not, but we do have some information coming from Hebrew Channel 12 in Israel, Hebrew Channel 12, that said that drones from Lebanon were trying to target the nuclear power plant near Dimona in Israel. Okay. Again, I cannot confirm this 100%, but I wanted to just share it with you. If that's true, that's very, very concerning. And earlier, I reported that there was a huge drone attack from Lebanon into northern Israel, and Israel said that that's actually not true, that there was actually a malfunction in their warning systems about all these drones coming into northern Israel, and these drones never ended up going into Israel, supposedly, according to the Israeli government. That's what they say. But that's according to the Israeli government. They're saying that their warning system got messed up, and Palestinian sources are saying that there's already some raids underway in Gaza City. That there's already some Israeli forces in Gaza City, apparently. Israel is telling its citizens to go into bunkers and basements the next few days and stock up on supplies. Obviously, that's a bad sign. And I showed you guys in my streams and in my videos all the empty grocery stores and supermarkets in Israel. People have just been on a panic buying spree. Okay. And this is why you should be prepared. Okay. Why you should have at least a month of food. Okay. In your home, you should have some canned food so you can quickly open the food and eat it. Okay. You don't need to cook canned food. That's what's nice about canned food. It lasts a good time, and you just open the can and eat it. Okay. Freeze dried food is another option that has a longer shelf life. It lasts for 20 or 25 years if you store it in a cool, dry, stable environment. And if you're interested in purchasing some freeze dried food, you can check out my Patriot Supply. I actually have a discount with them for you guys. So if you go to NYPrepper.com, there's a link in the description below this video. You can get up to 20 or 25% off my Patriot Supply 1 month and 3 month food supplies. Okay, freeze dried food lasts 25 years, but you should have at least a month of food. Okay, and you should have at least 2 weeks of water at all times, 2 weeks of drinking water, a month of food, and you should have some kind of replenishable water source, whether it's, some kind of rain catchment system, or if you live near a stream or river or something like that, that's okay too. Standing water is good too, but after a nuclear event, the standing water may get irradiated for a short period of time. But if you're dehydrated, it's worse to get dehydrated than it is to drink some irradiated water. Okay. So just, make sure you guys are prepared so you don't, end up in a situation where you're fighting with other people to get food and supplies. Okay. We have time to prepare now, so use it. And we have some footage on social media showing the Israeli Defense Forces distributing weapons and ammunition amongst the civilians in Ashkelon, okay, which is interesting. I don't know what they're expecting to go down in Ashkelon, but they're giving out weapons and ammunition to regular people, civilians, in Ashkelon. So they're maybe expecting some kind of massive invasion from various directions, maybe from Lebanon or Syria, or I don't know what. I can't show you the footage, unfortunately. But that's pretty much the latest breaking news that I have. And here we have a picture showing the closed military zone in Israel. So Israel set up this zone around Gaza City and the Gaza Strip, and nobody can enter unless you have proper authorization. And I want to read to you this article about the global jihad. Okay, this is coming from Reuters. Okay, former Hamas chief calls for protests neighbors to join war against Israel. All right, so this wonderful human being right here, former Hamas chief Khaled Mashal called for protests across the Muslim world on Friday in support of the Palestinians and for the peoples of neighboring countries to join the fight against Israel. We must head to the squares and streets of the Arab and Islamic world on Friday. Mishal, who currently heads Hamas's diaspora office, said in a recorded statement sent to Reuters. Mishal, who is based in Qatar, said the governments and peoples of Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Egypt have a bigger duty to support the Palestinians. Tribes of Jordan, sons of Jordan, brothers and sisters of Jordan, this is a moment of truth and the borders are close to you. You all know your responsibility, Mishal said. So he's asking for people in Jordan to attack Israel. So this is the part where it really gets concerning what he says here. To all scholars who teach jihad, to all who teach and learn, this is a moment for the application of theories, okay? So this is the part that really concerned people when he said this. To all scholars who teach jihad, to all who teach and learn, this is a moment of the application of theories, okay? And so this guy is head of the Hamas diaspora, so he deals with Hamas overseas, okay? So absolutely crazy guy. I'm going to continue to monitor this situation, so stay tuned to my channel for continuing coverage of the Israeli war and also the Ukraine war and global news. So I will try to live stream on Friday during this Friday the 13th event, and I'm going to continue to put out updates as information becomes available. I may even do another update later tonight. So make sure you have your notifications turned on and make sure you're subscribed. Other than that, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.